Whatever. All right, everyone. Welcome to the User's Guide to the Fourth and Fifth Dimension. I am your host, Rebecca Roseberry, and we have the lovely and talented Chris Gordon. Say hello, please.
Please. And thank you. Thank you for that wonderful intro. Your check just gets bigger and bigger and bigger with every intro.
So this is chapter 6, and we were prepared to talk about what we had spoken about last time, was that we were going to talk about the special needs, the autistic community, the ADH community, and I'm not sure if that's what's going to happen today. And neither I nor Chris know what we're going to talk about today. Isn't that fun? We have no idea.
Fun. That is fun. And I think they're going to let me start with that, but I'm not sure how long that's going to continue. So,
Okay.
So you shoot your questions, my friend, and
Okay.
I love the scenery behind you. I love the fact that you're in the snow in the mountains and I'm in the beach. It just brings this whole balance into actual visual focus. So I love what you chose. It looks absolutely, you are stunning behind in front of it, not behind it, in front of it. So it's just a great day.
Like my shirt says, what does it say? It's a good day to have.
I can't see all of it.
Yeah.
A good day to have a good day.
Yes. So now that I'm nice and chilly in the mountains.
Yes, you're nice and chilly and I'm sunning at the beach.
So it's actually September 4th, 2025.
Wow.
I don't know when people are going to be tuning into this, but I'll just start with, so Chris was sharing that she was getting a lot of downloads this morning, accompanied by needing to purge her body out. Ironically, what she doesn't know, what she's going to know now, is that I'm on a parasite cleanse and I'm on like day 5 or 6, I think. And it was one of my patients recommended this product, and I said, why not? Sounds great. So I ordered a couple of bottles of it, and I'm doing that. I don't know how that may relate to what we're talking about, but when you're talking about your needing to use the lavatory and then getting downloads, from my perspective, we're creating space and we're making room for the new.
Yes.
And I am all about it. I know astrologically, we have the energy of Saturn, which is that of endings and beginnings. And when I think of endings and beginnings, I also can't not think about the alimentary canal, which is the mouth all the way to the other end. And so I think it's very appropriate that we're starting on that note. What do you think?
I think so. I think it's, it's divine stuff comes in and toxic stuff has to leave.
Yeah.
And so that's like you said, it's the canal. It just happens, water comes in, water goes out.
So. Yeah. And I was hearing Kyle Cease yesterday talking about that September, and I don't know where he gets this information from, but he was just sharing that it's the month of severing parasitic energies. And I'm already doing the cleanse, and I'm like, wow, that's so ironic and wonderful, because there's a lot to say about parasitic energy. It's not just what we see or what we can't see, but it's the energy and the relationship that's symbolic, I'll say.
Yes. And in the class I'm taking, we refer to that as, and I love that. I wish I had heard you say that yesterday, because I could have used that last night, because someone was having, so we know words. Let me stop a minute. Words are very, very important right now. Our words. And the English language needs to shed some words, because we have some words that every letter has a frequency. those letters put together have a frequency. And then when we use them, they have a frequency. And there are other frequencies associated with that too, but that's enough for right now. And so those frequency of words are very, very important right now. And because things are manifesting and happening and moving quickly right now.
Yeah.
And the way you said the parasite of relationships, that's what we were talking about. We were talking about a relationship situation and how it needed to be cleansed. And this person was like, yeah, but I'm not, this is not about getting rid of this person, and that has nothing to do with it. The word in the class I'm taking right now, they're using the phrase codependency, which, because it's a psychological class, codependency has a broader, I guess, you can twist the 8 ball on that. You know, you can get different, it can mean different things. A parasite is a much better explanation, and I will be using that. Thank you very much. I'm going to take from you, but because that is exactly what that codependency phrase means. Is it's not about totally eliminating something, but it's releasing the need for the parasite relationship,
right,
that we're all going through, and we all have one of those toxic relationships. And it doesn't mean the people, places, or things have to leave. It's our relationship and perception to our need for those
right,
people, places, and things.
right.
So I'm not going to, but we could do a whole chapter on just examples for people of those people, places, or things. So anybody that's out there that's having an issue with a relationship, and again, we have to remember, relationships can literally be people, places, and things that are external that we feel like we cannot live without. And that can, even in our own mind, that can even be somebody else's perception or somebody else's belief system that we don't necessarily buy into, but we go with it because that person is important enough to us, or we trust that person, or we don't feel worthy enough to have our own perception voiced. And so
Let's expand on the worthiness piece with respect to that, because I think
okay.
that's what it's really all about. Because so a parasitic energy, my understanding when I teach people about the parasitic energy, it's essentially you're giving your power away to something, right? And now I try to teach and bring people back to their power, right? The complete opposite.
You did that very well.
Thank you. Because being in your power is being in your truth, and et cetera, your peace, your health, your et cetera. So the parasitic energy is a giving out without receiving. It's like a one way, right?
Right.
So it's depleting. It depletes. And my understanding of that too is, if you look at the map of consciousness, all the consciousness levels below 200 have that impact. They have a pull and a drain on the psyche and the physical body, and all the bodies, because they're going in that direction. They're not coming in to feed and nourish the body, but it's just this chronic depletion. All right, so that's my download. Now you go.
No, I understand it to be the same. It is that thing that we simply give our energy over and over and over, instead of being true to our authentic self.
Yeah.
And we all do this. This is not anything that we talk about here. It's not because anybody is doing anything wrong. Nobody is doing anything wrong. We are responding according to the energy that we are surrounded by.
Yeah.
So if I'm surrounded by mostly three-dimensional or low vibrational. If we don't like 3D, we can put other words in that space. So the lower frequency, if I'm surrounded by people in lower frequency, I already don't feel worthy, then I'm going to say sure, and I'm going to follow that energy because it's easy, and because that three-dimensional, that denser energy is all the planet had for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't another energy to pull from. So now if I already don't feel worthy, I'm probably feeling less worthy because now I have two energies to pull from. This one over here feels very comfortable, like an old pair of slippers. And most people I know are living in that energy. This energy over here is different. And yes, it feels good, but I can only maintain it for a little while in the beginning. And so it feels good in spurts, but it's work. And this isn't work. And I'm already tired. I'm already exhausted. I'm already grappling with the energies in the atmosphere and the energies of people around me, and then what I want to do versus what I feel like I'm having to do. And so all of those together just start spinning. And so hopefully my hope, and I know that's a non-ending word, but that's what I want this series to be about, is take what you want, forget what you don't want. But anything that may help anybody in any particular chapter get over that hump, so to speak, to be able to grasp into this lighter, healthier, more loving energy and stick with it and not feel like it's such a chore. But at the beginning, it does feel that way for a lot of people because this is so much easier. And we're tired. And we're tired because there's all kinds of energy going around. There's all kinds of things happening. And we are just exhausted at this point. Mm-hmm. As a whole, as a collective consciousness, and individually too, for some of us. Excuse me. And so, yeah, that's what I hope is that those that are listening, listen to find that one thing that speaks to them. And this is not about anything about telling anybody how to think. It's about allowing them some new information in a new energy from a new quantum perspective, a new science, mathematical perspective of how the universe is working, how nature is working, how our planet is working, why we are or are not going through certain things, and why we do or do not feel certain ways, and hopefully making it easier for all of us to move forward in this journey that we're on, that we all signed up for. And we even said over and over, each one of us last night in the meeting I was in, it was like, I really did. I signed up for this, didn't I? And it's like, yeah, we did. We signed up before we even came here. We agreed to come here. We agreed to exactly where we are now and how we got to now. It's that mind-blowing, oh my gosh, and I agreed to go forward in this too. And we just got, wow, what was I thinking? But this whole new shift, this evolution of the universe is to better mankind as we go along. Mm-hmm. And we may or may not see the end results, probably won't. For those of us that are my age, definitely. But if we look hard enough, we can already see the things that are softening, the corners that are going away, and the more rounding and more light light, but also lightness. That's, I guess, the word, that's coming into play in our lives day to day.
Mm.
So it is possible. It's possible for everyone. It's not a them and us, or an us and them, or any of that. It is a we. It is a collective, and everyone's going together. Now, some choose not to, and that's fine. That's their choice. But because everyone has free will and everyone has a choice. So yes, we need to really pay attention to what makes us feel good, because that's really the only gauge we have, is what in our heart first, and then our gut, and then our mind. What is it that makes us stop and smile? And on my Facebook page, there's a Inspire is a thing that I do every month, and started last month. And it's for the whole month. What can I do to lift my frequency? And this month is very simple. Every day at 2:00 p.m., no matter where your 2:00 p.m. is, stop what you're doing and think of something that makes you smile, and then move on. It's not a meditation. It doesn't take up any time. Some people, it may be their grandchildren. Some people, it may be their fur babies when they get home at night. Some people, your mountains, my beach. Doesn't really matter what it is. If it brings a smile on your face when you close your eyes and you think about it, that's your 2:00 happy thought.
So I think it should be every hour, but that's
well, yeah, it should. So this started years and years and years ago. Some of us have been doing it for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And it all started, in fact, it started not long after 9/11. And so it's been over 20 years. And so what the theory was that if a group of people in all these different time zones throughout the day had a happy thought, they would raise the vibration. And as they raise the vibration at different times all over the world, eventually that would become an every hour, 24-hour
nice
frequency raising. And it all stemmed, the original idea came from when, after 9/11, when the House and Senate gathered on the steps of the Capitol, and other nations joined in, and they sang, I don't know what they sang, but they sang like patriotic songs and uplifting and other, I guess, uplifting songs and patriotic songs, let's put it that way. But they were all doing it together. It didn't matter if there was a D or an R behind their name. It didn't matter if they were male or female, if where they were born, what they looked like. None of that mattered. Everybody was singing. And it doesn't matter what the song was, it's the music. And so the music, as we already know, has a massive raise in our vibration instantly. And then other, I think, like England joined in, and other countries all around the world. And what happened was, the people that were out in space noticed this energy measuring rise. And I don't know the whole science about it, because I just don't care. All I care about is that there is proof positive that the collective energy of the planet went from a very low, dense, fearful frequency to a very high, hopeful frequency in just a matter of a few minutes, the minute the music began.
Nice.
And so happy thought is that's where that kind of originated from, way back then.
Nice. So those of you who are watching, put it on your phone, set an alarm, the happy thought hour. minute, whatever, if you want to do that.
Yes. And my happy thought alarm is silenced,
Mm,
but I have it on a 1 beat vibration.
hmm.
And so it's not enough if I'm in session or we're doing a meditation, it no one hears it. I just notice it that it's 2 o'clock, time to have a happy thought, and I'll
Mm.
pause in the middle and just have the happy thought and then continue. So it doesn't need to be disruptive of your day.
Right. Nice. Nice. So let's get back to, you got a ton of downloads. I don't know if you want to share any of that, if anything comes true, through. And then the other thing was, worthiness, and this idea of surrendering parasitic energy, has a lot to do with our sense of, our self-worth, how we feel about ourselves.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind maybe expanding on that, because I know that humanity as a whole has a real hard time with worthiness.
Yes. Well, we've been taught, especially in certain countries, we have been taught that that there's a word called pride, and pride is a sin.
Mm, hmm, hmm.
And there is some logic to that. There is, because you can, if you are boastful, if I am proud because I am better than you,
Hmm.
I'll give you that sin all day long. But pride doesn't have to be about that.
Right.
It is simply a word that explains that I feel good about what I've accomplished.
Hmm.
And I don't have to think I'm better than somebody, or I did a better job, or nobody else could have done it like I did, for me to be pleased with my accomplishment.
Hmm.
And if I'm being of service to someone and that comes to fruition, then I'm allowed to feel good about helping someone.
Hmm.
If I pick somebody's keys up off the pavement in a parking lot that they dropped, doesn't matter how big or how small.
Hmm.
Simply knowing I was of service to somebody, I helped somebody along the way, I brought a smile to somebody's face during the day, there's nothing wrong with me smiling about that, inside and out.
Hmm. But let's
So,
go further though, because then we get caught up with works. So a lot of religion, because since we're talking about sin and pride, religion has beaten into us, at least for me, decades ago, and I know collectively that in order to be worthy, it's attached to good works. So then people don't feel comfortable and worthy enough just to sit on their couch and relax, because they have to be doing something to prove their worth.
oh, my good works have to start with myself.
Right.
I if I don't know how to treat myself well, I definitely do not know how to treat anyone else well.
Right.
and and so it's okay for me to take a day and curl up on my couch and eat popcorn and watch TV if that's what I need to recharge my batteries.
Yeah.
And I am worthy to be able to give that to myself, because myself needs that.
There's still a ton of, I'll say, discordant energy around that. There's in the field, and it definitely is something that I have to mentally battle, like that old program of having to do in order to be worthy, and ugh.
No, our existence, if I open the door for you when we're going into a building, I am being of service. Of
Yeah.
service does not mean at all that I have to be out there um, doing big, huge things.
Right.
There are people that is what they do, but that's part of who they are. My being of service can be picking up the telephone and calling my next door neighbor just to make sure they're okay.
Or just smiling.
Or smiling at somebody when I'm in the grocery store. I mean, so I grocery store at night because I think the friendliest people are out at night, but that's just my opinion of where I live. And this is truth. The times we have danced in the aisle because, you know, the grocery store, they're playing the music, and it's a catchy tune, whether it's a pop tune or not, doesn't really matter. And so you're coming this way and you're going that way, and you smile at each other, and then you open the freezer door to get some frozen peas out, and you kind of shuffle with the door a little bit, and the next thing you know, you have an aisle of 2 or 3 people just going down the aisle dancing, all from a smile, and we never spoke a word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those types of things happen in the grocery store at night. But yeah, everybody says the grocery store on the hill, that's your magical place, isn't it? And I go, yeah, pretty much, you know, because everybody there is simply happy to be there, simply happy to be, period. And so, yes, we have a lot of simple smiles, never a word spoken, a nod, anything that brings a smile, going back to that happy thought, that happy place, anything that makes someone feel better, period, just better. Doesn't necessarily have to be about themselves. It can be better about anything. That is being of service. You have lifted someone's spirit. And sometimes that is absolutely nothing but putting good thoughts out there about them. You don't have to get off your chair. You don't have to pick up a phone. You can literally think of, I'm thinking of Becky. Oh, I hope Becky has a beautiful day today. And that is enough, because Becky will feel that, because energy follows energy. Whatever we put out there is what we get. So there are lots of times that I'm sitting in at the altar and doing my altar stuff, and simply have happy thoughts about people, places, and things. And the next thing I know is I'm getting some sort of feedback from that person, place, or thing. Sometimes it's a call. Oh, you ran across my mind. Well, ran across your mind because I was putting positive, loving energy out there for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and we are worthy. We would not be here if we were not worthy. There is not a single person on the planet that is not supposed to be here doing exactly what we're doing. And if that is sitting on our couch, then that is exactly what we're supposed to be doing. There are no coincidences.
Yeah.
And so this was a download. I've had it before, but there's more involved in it last night, but I'll just touch on it. One of the downloads was when I had someone come in and they said, oh my God, this generation is driving me crazy. They don't want to do anything. They're not supposed to. They are the ones that will be doing the really, really hard work after we've sown the seeds, after we've laid the pavement, after we've disconnected from a few old and obsolete belief systems. Then they're going to come in and they're going to be the ones to really bring this peace on earth to fruition.
Okay.
It's never supposed to be all or nothing, either side. There will always be balance on this planet. Always.
Yeah.
But that peace and harmony is going to be, balance is not this. Balance is ebb and flow. Mm-hmm. But this fear energy is going to drop, and this love and gratitude energy is going to rise. And then after it's risen and been a little higher enough to detach itself, then it's going to drop back down, and it's going to be about ebb and flow, flux. Everything's going to be in a flux. And that will be their responsibility, because then they will have the opportunity to not need as many prisons as we have, to not need to have as many anything that causes fear. It simply will not exist. And we have a hard time wrapping our head around that. But we are worthy of that. Every single one of us is worthy to not have to be in that fearful place.
Yeah.
And so one of the things, other than the happy thought, that will help us get to that worthiness place is I am.
Mm.
And you can choose whatever you want to put there. I am is not a mantra. I am can be a mantra, but the actual I am was never created. It was created thousands of years ago. And I am. You can simply say that and stop. I am. And it's that I am, that being here, that being present, that frequency where we are. And it doesn't matter where I live. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many friends I have. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. I am.
Mm.
And when you say I am and you close your eyes and you take a deep breath and you let it out slow, this blanket sort of, what the first couple times, no, not so much, because it's foreign. But once you do it 2 or 3 times a day for, I'll say, a week, when you go to take that big breath and you let it out, that I am just sort of encompasses everything good and positive in your life. And even if you don't feel like there's anything good and positive in your life, you feel it for the first time. And that's that feeling of I am worthy. But we don't have to start with that word worthy at the end. A simple I am. Take a deep breath, maybe hold it for a second, and then let it out slowly. And it simply changes the whole climate around you.
Mm-hmm. When it's embodied, right? I try
Yes.
to remind people of that.
Yes. And so if you do that 3 times a day,
Yeah.
and you do that after about 7 days or so, when you do it, you will notice, after you take that breath and let it out, you will notice each time as your shoulders relax, you feel this warmth inside of you, you feel lighter. There is a physical shift that happens.
Yeah.
And then once the physical shift happens and you get that I am, then the word worthy. I personally, I don't have a problem with my clients who use it, because a lot of my clients, that's where they are. When they say enough, I know we have more work to do, because enough is settling for something. Like when I use the word hope. Hope means I hope to see you tomorrow. There's never an end to hope. So I try not to use it any more than I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And there are times when the word is appropriate and I still use it, but for the most part, I try to take it out of most of my vocabulary. The word just, I just wanted to call you. Well, does that mean you didn't have anything better to do? What do you mean just? So we have words in our vocabulary that we are backing away from.
Mm-hmm.
And when we start to feel that, then we start to feel worthy. We start to understand what that is. If I was born, if I am living on this planet, as far as the universe is concerned, I am more than worthy. We simply need to catch up to that understanding. It's not even a belief, it's an understanding that we are here because we are worthy. And that is hard. I'm not saying any of this is easy.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, I always teach people that your worthiness is self-evident in your existence, right? It's like, it's, I can't think of the word, but it's not separate from our existence itself. So of course we're worthy. However, um, I can know that, but I sometimes throughout the day have to convince myself, because what I'm feeling is the complete opposite of what I would anticipate worthiness to feel like. It feels like hell. So then I'm like, then I think to myself, well, I feel awful. I'm not having a good time. And this is supposed to be heaven on earth or what? Or am I, like, what, what am I supposed to do with this yucky feeling that comes over that does not feel like worthiness or anything that anyone would sign up for consciously and deliberately?
Love you, because that is priceless, because that is so on the mark. So for me personally, this has nothing to do with the masters, this is me personally. I found a long time ago that if I flip that in my head, that, oh, I'm in learning transition, anything that is not that isn't warm and fuzzy, I recreate that in my brain. Oh, I'm learning.
I'm learning.
Because I'm sorry, and I know there's a lot of people who, my brother was one, he was up, he was out, he did his homework, blah, blah. I really did not enjoy school. So if anybody had told me that there would be a year called 2020 and I would still be alive to witness it and I would be going back to school, yeah, I would have bet them my good money that they would be wrong and I would be out a lot of money. So 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 for me, and I guess that's what I'm saying when I say it's for me personally, learning is that thing. I didn't mind the learning. I loved the learning. I didn't like the school part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and for me to be teaching is an even bigger haha moment. So, so, um, what I do is I go, oh, I'm in learning mode, and learning mode wasn't always fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dyslexic for one, so that could be an uphill battle if I allowed it to be. Um, I've learned how to maneuver around that,
Mm-hmm.
but it can still be challenging at times. Not often, but every now and then. And so that's how I see those times, those moments when it's not fun. And a lot of this isn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
So the universe gave us a download several months ago when we were all kind of grumbling about this. And they said, we gave you your life, and some people not as long as others. I get it. But you got to live. You got to, so obviously for me personally, Chris, you got to have your you got to get married, you got to have babies, you got to get a divorce, you got to live at the beach, you got to have great parents, you had a wonderful childhood, you got to do all these things, you got to go places and do things you wanted to do that a lot of people look at you and go, you did that, really? Done. We need you now. You signed up to be here, and we need you to do what you agreed to do when you agreed to come here. And now is the time for the evolution or the shift to begin. And we need you in place doing what we're asking you to do. Mm. And I have to remember that, because a lot of what I had, I don't have anymore. When it was leaving, when we were removing ourselves from each other, it was extremely painful. Yeah. But I understand the need for it now. I had to get through the fear and the ugliness of it, to appreciate where I am, and that where I am is not bad. It's not good. It's where I need to be.
Mhm.
And that it's my energy that gets to create that space that says it's where I need to be, but where I need to be is also where I want it to be. And so it's where I want to be now.
Mhm.
And that allows me to appreciate what I do have.
Mhm.
It allows me to appreciate what I no longer needed.
Mhm.
And it brings a clarity to my life that says I am exactly where I need to be. I am worthy. I am connected to divine universe.
Mhm.
And that for me, when things start being rocky or not feeling good, I say thank you and I give thanks. And when I do that, all of that kind of starts to fall apart, that not feeling good. And it doesn't mean anything changes, but my perception of why this is happening changes. And that's when things begin to happen in a more positive light, and going and becoming easier, and becoming less like work, and more like an experience. And so when I can see it as an experience, a learning experience, it takes all of, or most of, that anxiety and fear and anger out of it, and the not feeling worthy of, well, how come they got it? They didn't do what I didn't. Look at what that takes, all of that out of it. And it brings me back to center. And then I feel extremely positive about the direction I'm moving in. And it really doesn't matter where I am or where I'm going. It's the mindset that has to change. Does that make
Oh
sense?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it made me think of Wayne Dyer. That I have his book on my table right now, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And that saying, I can't think of it, that he says, but when you look at something, like when you're looking at things differently, the things you look at change. That's what you know what I'm talking about. All the Wayne Dyer fans out there know what I'm talking about.
Yes, and he really is. I mean, I started with following one person long time ago, and simply couldn't. I was like, I know where you're telling me I need to be, but I'm not getting how to get there. And then here comes Wayne, and I simply saw him in an interview and went, that's the piece I was missing from here. And so yeah, he is the person that put me in that understanding of exactly what you just said. Wow. So that's so cool that you have his book there, and he is where I got that understanding from.
So cool. So
Full
cool.
circle. Yeah.
Such a coincidence. And this is completely unrehearsed.
Unrehearsed. So yeah. So that is so exciting, because all of these people that have been doing this for eons, like the Wayne Dyers, and whether they're here now or on this planet or not, it's the Wayne Dyers, it's the Dolores Cannons, it's the Esther Hicks, it's the Dr. Joe Dispenzas, it's
Louise Hay,
Lee Harris. I mean, all of those people, and there's more and more and more. The Chip Coffees of the world. I mean, there all of these people back in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. They laid the pavers for us. And now it's our turn to take what we've learned and lay the pavers for the next generation that's coming up. and it will be their responsibility to do their work and lay the next papers.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you and I can sit here and synchronicity brings the Dyer books back to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. That's a big wow in my world.
I mean, yeah, I remember when he passed, there was a synchronistic moment that happened in my house, and I'm like, this is messed up. He's saying goodbye, or he's saying hello, or there was something weird that happened, and I'm like, I can't remember the exact thing. It was something on the television, and I'm like, oh my God, he made a presence.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And Louise Hay did that for me. I had the same kind of the same kind of thing happen when she left. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, I totally understand the part I've been missing.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it till she left. It was like the minute I heard she had decided to exit here and move on, it was like, oh wow. It just opened, and it was just there, and it was solely the words of she's gone that did that.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Cool. Very powerful. So did that kind of answer what you were looking for?
Yes.
Because you have to keep me on track, because they will take me in all kinds of different directions. So
Okay. So let's talk about that word enough. I'm glad you brought that up earlier. Because that comes up, like, to say I am enough. And I always joke with people, I'm like, enough of what?
thank you.
Enough what? You're a human. You're enough of a human. Like, what are you saying?
Yes, that is one of 5 words that I wish I could erase from the English language.
All right. Can we get the whole list, or are you prepared to share?
Let's hit them one at a time, because they're
Okay.
going to create very many questions.
Okay, 1 second. All right, so we're gonna go over the words that drive Chris crazy. And we'll explain a little bit why. So I'm gonna read them off really quick, and then Chris can vent about them. And I share in most of these words, but not completely. So I'm excited to share these words. The first, I'll run through them quick. The first one is enough. The other one is wait. The next one is can't. The next one is shouldn't. The next one is have to. And the last one is soon. All right, Chris, why do you hate these words so much?
So in certain text, they are okay. And I can think of 1 or 2 times where they're actually the only word that would fit. However, that being said, these are words that do not have an ending, or they take away our own personal power. And I don't mean power like over people. I mean our own internal power. And that's why they grate on me.
I was gonna say nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. So the one that has been coming up the most for me lately is the one we'll start with, because I'm not sure we actually have a whole lot more time. Well, I guess I should what? What should you do? Why, yes, if you have a small child and it is time for you to go feed that small child, then probably you should do it. Doesn't mean I like it, but I can see where it fits. I don't have an issue with it. Okay. But Well, I guess I should probably start thinking about that, or I guess I should maybe start trying to do that. What do you mean should? You either know that it's right for you, and we need to um, fulfill that within ourselves, or it's not. Should always, almost always, has to do with the attachment of some other person, place, or thing, something external. And all of these words that you just read are associated with my need for something external. Now, again, if I'm a nurse and it's time for rounds and to give people medicine and to check on them, it's something that is needed to be done. I understand that. I'm talking about in our own personal life. So I'm trying to think real quick of just yesterday when this popped up. I was talking with a client and she said, well, I guess maybe I should think about that. Well, if she says she should think about that, she's doing it to please someone else. She is not thinking about that because it is something that feels appropriate to her at that moment in time. So well, I should probably really think about whether I need to go to the bank or not. Well, if you're going to say hello to everybody, then that's okay. If I have 3 checks over here and for me to pay my bills, I need to go and make a deposit, then there's no should to it. We use that word to buffer. Thank you. That was the word I've been asking them for. We use that word to buffer things so we're not held responsible.
And Louise Hay says the should is rooted in shame.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
much so. Yes.
So no wonder why it grates on you, because yeah, it's taking your power outside yourself. I totally get it. I get it. Thank
Totally
you.
outside yourself.
Yeah.
The minute I say I should do something, I am totally giving my power away. Now, again, if I'm a nurse and I should give you your medicine, well, I still don't like it, but I can see where it fits. So there are times with all of these words where the words can be appropriate.
Well,
so but we're not talking about all the times. We're talking about when we're talking to ourselves and when we're talking about what affects us. So on a personal level.
and this is a great way to summarize what we're talking about, because we started with this parasitic energy, and this sounds parasitic to me.
Very, very much so.
Oh, I love it. It's like full circle. I love it.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's gross. I love it. And I am so hyper aware of one of the phrases that you said, which is have to. There is a program in me that I just want to beat out. I'm like, why do I keep saying have to? I don't have to do a goddamn thing. So so what's your take on where's that have to come from?
Conditioning.
Yeah,
It's and again, it was that frequency that the whole universe is coming out of.
right.
Those were the thought plans.
Yeah.
Those were, that was life. That was how we, well, I have to go do this. Because in that energy, there's always a reason, AKA an excuse.
Okay.
Now, if I fell down the stairs, and I'm only using this not to put it out there, but because it actually happened. If I fell down the stairs and I fell because I was going somewhere and I didn't make it, then if I don't have to give you an explanation. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want you to think that I just didn't show up. So it's my choice. of whether I give you an explanation or not. And that explanation would be why I wasn't there. It would be a reason. That is an example of the duality of everything in this energy.
Mhm.
There are times when it is needed and there are times when it is not.
Yeah.
It's the balance, the yin and yang of this energy. And so I could just let you go. Or I could be a compassionate person because I don't want you to think that it was you, because we all know everybody is in that place of I am not worthy right now. So I say, okay, so sorry. I fell, couldn't get up. I missed our appointment. That's simply a polite thing to do, but I don't have to do it. Nobody says that that is something that has to be done. It is a polite thing in our society. It is a compassionate thing in our society and in our belief system of how we treat each other. But nobody has to do that. I don't have to go visit somebody if I don't want to. Would it be a nice thing to do? Sure, depending on what the situation is. My aunt taught me that the day she died. When one of my aunts died, she came to me and she said, I know my leaving today is going to create a hardship for you to get back to come to my funeral. We had such a great relationship when I was on the planet. Think about me in the days to come and don't create the hardship for yourself. That's not what our relationship was ever about.
Aw, that's so awesome.
And it literally changed my whole understanding in what is expected of me on my own personal level,
Right.
which is my soul my soul authentic self.
Yeah.
Versus people, places, and things and what they expect of me.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
and those are two totally different things. Sometimes they go together, but I am not responsible because someone else expects me to do something.
Amen, Chris. I love it. I love it. I love that word responsibility makes me nuts. So wait, so why do you hate soon so much? Because soon it's open-ended because it's not
Open-ended.
definitive. It's
Yes. And
Um
I'll
yeah.
get to it soon. If I tell you I'm going to do something soon, it usually means I haven't worked it into my thought process and I'm simply putting you off for a while. Now, I'm like everybody else. That word is in my vocabulary for 100 lifetimes.
Yeah.
So it is taking me a while to unravel that from my past experiences and my need to use it. So I do still say it. I said the word just that's been the hardest word for me to unravel so far. It's taken the longest. I still use it. And there are times when that word is very appropriate. Oh, I just walked in the door. Can I call you right back? That way lets you know that I'm not putting you off. I need a moment to get something to drink, go to the bathroom, sit down, whatever it is I need. I just walked in the door. I'll call you right back.
So what's an example of how you don't like that word?
I just thought I'd give you a call.
I just thought
The subconscious brain hears, you just thought. So what? Nobody else was home.
Yeah.
You just thought it was simply, oh, well, I have nothing better to do for 5 minutes before Becky calls me, so I'll go ahead and give Tina a call.
Right. So it feels like there was a space for that person and they had to fill it with someone or something.
And that is what and I understand people out there will be going, say what? that's what our subconscious hears. And right now, this energy that makes us feel, and I use the word makes on purpose, makes us feel, because it's creating a feeling around us that we are not worthy, or that is creating a fear or a panic about whatever's going on globally or community or personally. Those things that are creating that still have to do with the words that we have used in the past, that no longer resonate in this energy. So does that make sense?
It sounds, what I just like felt like just came through me was that you hate these words, and I'm 100% with you. They all feel like they are dishonoring the being.
Yes,
And
thank
it
you.
hurts right here when I say that. And that's, so I know I'm onto something. It's a dishonor of this to the self when we use those words.
Exactly.
Ah, I feel so ill right here. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's yeah. Mine's a little lower than that, but right here. So it's kind of like between the heart and the solar plexus. Just
Yeah.
like a kick in the gut when you say that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, how could you say that about yourself? How could you disown or disempower yourself like that? Oh, I get it. I get it. I got it.
Exactly.
So the word wait, that's a lot of fun for me because I play with that in my psyche a lot. That was one of the words you said. Because of body weight, because I'm a nutritionist, I love playing with that word for people. So why do you hate that word? Because weight, it's like a paw, like, I don't know, explain it. Put it in a scenario that is incorrect.
Again, it has its place.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. But that's exactly what the word is. If I really need for you to stop because you're getting ready to step on a scorpion,
You don't want
probably
to say
not a good
wait.
outcome for you. Okay. If I really need for you to halt, I might use that word. Stop, wait, halt. Okay. They're all going to come flying out of my mouth. There are times when all of these words are appropriate. They're not appropriate in the slang way we use them. Okay.
Okay.
So I can't wait to see you. It's one of the very first ones in class we learned to nix out. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Because I've already put two negatives out there. I can't do something and I have to wait. It's not moving forward. It's not progressing. It is stopping the ebb and flow. It is stopping the flux of nature. Yes, these are all in our head, but our head is part of this transformation. Our perception is part of this transformation, is a huge part of this transformation. So when my non-conscious thought brain hears can't and wait, it doesn't follow. It's kind of like the universe. It doesn't follow the explanation that comes after. It stops at those two words.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see you. What happens is 90% of the time, I'm going to create something in my head that we never do get to see each other. And I've seen this happen over and over. So Christmas, I went back to the town I was born in, where I was raised, and I had 3 friends that we were going to get together. Pretty much had everything set, and 2 of them, when we hung up when we were kind of putting it together, said, "Can't wait." And 2 of us we just cringed. And what happened was, the 2 that said that, one of them got the flu and one of them got COVID.
It's like a curse, cursing the self.
In that other energy, it did not have an effect because that was the only energy available.
Yeah.
It has a huge effect on us now because we have a fluidity in this energy that we are living in, that the planet is in, that the universe is in, and those words do not dance with that fluid motion.
So I'm seeing it as like we want to, that's the past, and that's what's we gotta let that go and not keep activating that. Oh my God, I just got it, what you just did. So my son is a little crystal child, and he happened to say something. He always says these brilliant things to me, and I didn't teach him any of this stuff. I don't, it just comes from him naturally, and I'm like, wow, you're so enlightened. So anyway, so
Oh, he is. He's like my hero, but go ahead.
so he said this gem when he was describing when I was describing him a little bit of the hell that I was in yesterday, and like how am I here and why am I here, and he gave me a metaphor of a boulder that's like in a stream, right? That's blocking the stream, right? Now we can all relate to that. That's how we use that all the time. So he's like, this is a boulder, like and so when you were just talking about, when I said the word past, about using, this is so amazing what I'm seeing. So that word that you grabbed, that what did you say? I can't wait. Those words, I can't wait, I think. And then I said, oh, that's the past. And it's like we have a new stream of consciousness, literally. Think of water flowing, and we have this boulder, this I can't wait crap that's blocking the flow. Literally now it's like get that shit out of here. That's old stuff. And it wasn't old, like you said, it wasn't old back then because we didn't have the other frequencies to create contrast. It was just a denser energy. Now we have more fluidity. So now we're looking at, what is this boulder doing here now? That just doesn't belong. It's got to go.
Right.
It's in there. It got in there.
Hey, girl.
We couldn't see it before because that's all we had. That's all we knew, right? Now we have contrast.
Yes. 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 That is all any of this is about. And it doesn't matter who's talking about it. There's a whole bunch of people talking about the very same thing in a little bit different way.
Yeah.
So that one of these ways, whether it's us, whether it's I don't know, pick somebody, doesn't matter. Because you're going to hear it when you're supposed to hear it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hear it when I'm supposed to hear it. Somebody else is going to hear it when they're supposed to hear it. And maybe it's Joseph that says it and this person hears it. And eventually, and they may come, this was something that somebody said last night. She said, I totally understand the concept that we were discussing, because it's like, she's a massage therapist, and she was like, this one client, I've told her that it's her, I don't know, we'll say her elbow joint or whatever. And she said, she comes back and she says, like, for 3 years, I've been saying, you really need to go have this checked. It's your elbow joint. And she comes in and says, oh, well, my next door neighbor told me she was having trouble with her elbow joint. So I've made an appointment to go see the doctor. Now I know how much those words cringe you. Okay. Your whole chalkboard just, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, but it took the next door neighbor. And so the concept of her statement is, she's been saying it. The reflexologist has been saying it. Mm-hmm. This is what needs to be addressed. Mm-hmm. But it took the neighbor over the fence saying, oh, I can have that, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And for the light bulb to go off.
Yeah.
Take that conversation out of that physical context and put it into this 3D, 4D, 5D context.
Okay.
For us, it really doesn't matter how they heard or who they heard the message from.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about repeating the same message in so many different ways so that that light bulb that just went off for you,
Mm-hmm.
Justin told you, he gave you, he told you this. And it took me saying something off the wall and totally bizarre and
Mm-hmm.
not even in the same context hardly. And the light bulb goes off.
See, I'm not as dense as I was 30 minutes ago.
So that's how we all learn.
Yeah.
Because we have been in this other energy for so many years, for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only our past lives, it's ancestral.
Yeah.
It's a collective consciousness. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And for that spark to happen, everybody's talking about the same thing, but with different words.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is exactly, I couldn't have asked for a better situation if I tried, because what happened right now is exactly what happens every time we hear something and get it. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if you hear it and bingo from me, or we've discussed the same thing in 22 episodes, and the milkman comes walking up and says something and the light bulb goes off. Mm-hmm. None of those things in this energy matter. Nobody's looking for that recognition to be. It's why there isn't a leadership. Okay. It's a collective understanding. Mm-hmm. And there isn't a leader. There are groups of people who understand and have seen and have been given downloads of where we're going. But everybody who agreed to be here has some level of that understanding within them. We are simply waking up and remembering where we were before we were placed in that three-dimensional energy way of life. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is nothing new. It's nothing new. We are simply waking up and remembering so we can get back to where we were. So then we can move forward.
And I want to end with this, and I have a comment. This is nothing new. I love it. And that we're simply remembering. I'm just taking notes, and then I want to just share. So I've been personally, if you want to use the boulder metaphor that I just used, 2020 for me was like this big mountain that I've been trying to push out of the way.
Yeah.
So, and I say things like, I just have to remember, I just have to go back to 2019 and remember who I was and where I was at, because I was in a really good place and I loved it and I was so happy, and then everything went. And I'm trying to get and remember and get back to that place. So, yeah.
And there's a saying that says 2020 came, pandemic and everything along with it. 2020 came, and that was when the human experience began to feel and notice this new energy, this fourth dimensional energy that's going into the fifth dimension at a rapid pace. Mm-hmm. Because we have always known and we've always heard the terms 2020 hindsight, and 2020 vision.
Yeah.
And that was the catalyst. We were given the opportunity to say, I'm going to have 2020 vision and start looking forward and moving forward and releasing and progressing. Mm-hmm. And doing that 2020, or I'm going to choose to do 2020 hindsight and live in that hindsight world. It's not going to exist anymore, but I'm going to try for as long as I can to keep recreating what was instead of walking away. And we know we're capable of that because we have all walked away from something, person, place, or thing, our whole entire life. We've moved out of our parents' home. We went to school. We left the crib. Went to a bed. Some of us got married. Some of us got divorced. Some of us became widows. Some of us became widowers. We have left one situation and gone into another situation. Some of us went to college and lived a whole different lifestyle for however many years we were there. We have moved cities. We have moved states. We have been on this side of politics, and now we're on this side. We have believed in this kind of medicine, and now we believe in this. We've all had those things that we have literally turned around and walked away from.
Yeah.
And this is absolutely no different. It's scary because it feels different, but we could probably get over that because everything we turned around and walked away from felt different at some point. But this is a universal. And when we hear that it's a universal collective consciousness moving forward, leaving one way of living and going into a totally new and lighter, airier, love-based, gratitude-based way of living. We've been in this for so long, we cannot fathom what that's going to be like. And so we put on the brakes. We dig our heels in the sand. We go this far, and then it starts to be a little bit of work, and we go, oh, maybe I'm not, that whole worthy thing comes right back in of, I don't know if I can do this because this isn't what everybody else is doing or the majority is doing or what I've ever done before. Maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe, oh yeah. And so we start backing away. I'm hoping, and I use that word on purpose, because I don't know. It's up to everybody to make their own decision. It's not about me making anybody believe or not believe. So I am hopeful that these chapters we're doing in some small way will allow people to find that frequency for themselves to say, oh, it's not new. I'm remembering. I'm finding my true, authentic, very worthy, extremely confident self that was left back there a long time ago. Because we are all in this skin suit, but we are souls, we are spirits, we are energy. We are energy that has thought and emotion, and that thought, those thoughts, emotions follow our spirit wherever we go, on whatever dimension, plane, planet, heaven, hell, whatever your belief system is. The soul, the thing that makes the suit come alive. That's who we are. That's our authentic self. And we are starving to find that person again.
Oh, it's an understatement. It's an understatement.
And we're worthy to find that person again. And I'm done.
Mic drop. That was it. And we're yes.
So,
starving.
I hope that was, again, used it on purpose, was what you were looking for at the beginning of this.
We're going to have our own like new age vocabulary for curse words, like have to.
Yeah, have to.
soon. It's like, ooh, you said a bad
Oh,
word. Oh my
yeah.
God.
I have a thing about curse words, and I'm not going to go into it, but I have friends that live in another country, and they have a word that they use often that means something totally different in our country. And,
Yeah.
and I go,
It's fun.
so it's like, so it is a real energy because I have to go, calm down, slow it down. They did not mean what popped in your head. The,
Right.
the issue is on my part, not theirs. But every time I hear that, I just go.
So thank you, all of you who have listened to this wonderful, wonderful chapter 6. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, everybody, so much. I really appreciate it, and have a fabulous day. It's a great day to have a great day.
Yes, like the shirt. All right. Thanks until next time. And we're not going to tell you what we're going to talk about next time because it's going to change and it'll change a couple times.